Peer pressure.
Yo, what up? This is the one, the only, the greatest, the latest, and yo favorite, Domicito, aka D-Lo, aka the Latino Nelly, and welcome to episode 25 of Peer Pressure. Now, in this episode, we're talking to two of the four founders of the Prime Life clothing company, Kyle and Emmanuel. Love to Tim and Jay Stu, the other two founders who couldn't be with us on this episode, but I promise we'll get them on an episode in the future. Now, me and Brando have known this group since high school. We talked to them about where they draw inspiration from, how the company was founded, and where they see it going in the future. And this was such a cool experience, getting to talk to these two extremely talented people coming out of the IE. And I hope you enjoyed as much as me and Brando did, man. Now, recently, we got the podcast up on Soundcloud, so you can access it there. Whatever app you're listening on right now, make sure to rate, subscribe, and comment, because, you know, we out here trying to get our cloud up, man. You know what I'm saying? So help us out a little bit. All right. Episode 25 of Peer Pressure starts right now, man.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
Just getting into it, man. It's been okay. Let's just give a little background on how me and Dom.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead. It's going to be hard.
It's gonna be hard sharing the mic. Whatever, we'll get through it. Me and Dom, we've actually known you guys since high school.
Yep.
Shout outs to Ayala High School, Chino Hills, California.
California Distinguished School.
Blue ribbon, you know what it is.
Give me a B.
Hey. But how you guys been, man? It's been a minute since we guys seen you. You know, it's been like what, 5? How long you guys been out of high school? 5 years? 4 years?
Sheesh. Five. Yeah.
Going on
2013.
Yeah?
Damn, bro.
Yeah, going on 5. Yep.
Wow. And so, just off the bat, I guess the most obvious question is, let's start really broad. Like, what is Prime? What is Prime Life? If you don't know, by the way, I'm gonna cut you off. It's their apparel line, it's their clothing line. At Prime Life CC,
Yeah.
Instagram. What's the Twitter? You got Twitter?
Same
thing.
Yeah.
Hey, got the branding on point. But yeah, give us a little background on like what is it in general? Like, what does it mean to you, and where did it start?
Well, since we're talking about high school already, we started in 2012 when we were juniors at Ayala High School.
Yeah.
So that's already been 5 years. We're going to 6 years for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it started. But Prime stands for Pure Royalty and Me. It's a clothing brand by Jordan Stewart, Kyle Young, Tim Crome, and Emmanuel Chege.
Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out Jordan Stewart. Shout out Tim Crome.
Yup.
I'm sorry, I forgot you guys.
We couldn't have them all in the same place, bro. It would be too much.
Yeah, low key. But not much love to them. They out at San Jose State right now, Spartans, doing their thing, getting their business degrees right now. Shout out to my boy KY right next to me right here, getting his degree right now at the same time. Yup. But yeah, man, we've been working, bro. What you want to?
Man, for me, I think the main point was to show kids that we can do the things we want to do. A lot of people, I really commend you guys for doing your thing with this.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, especially in school, I would see like kids that didn't really think they can do whatever it is that they wanted to do. Like they thought they had to go through the college process and get a job, but you know, the making music or any type of art or whatever it is, they kind of felt like, I have to wait for that. And we wanted to be a bright example that you can do what you want to do at a very young age, like regardless.
Yeah.
How did it come about? You were all obviously friends. I know Emmanuel, Tim, and Jordan all played basketball, and you were obviously their friend as well.
Right.
So when did the idea come to yo, we want to start making clothes. We want to start a company. How did that whole idea come up?
Right. So I mean, we've known each other all of our lives throughout different points. I've known Jay since I was 5. I've known Tim since I was in 7th grade. I've known Emmanuel since 4th grade, 5th grade through this organization, CAP.
Yeah, shout out
CAP. So basically, it was me and Tim, and it was
Damn, man.
it's definitely a long story, but it was.
give him the short version.
I got to give you the short version because it was for sure a very long process.
We only got an hour or something.
Yeah, we'll be here all day.
Bro, you hear the breath he took? Ooh, damn.
It's quite a story. But no, basically, me and Tim, we wanted to do something different. we didn't have any type of musical talent, but we were really into fashion, and we had our own reasons behind why we were into fashion and whatnot. But one day we just decided to start a clothing company. No one really took it serious at school. Everyone was like, "You guys aren't gonna do that." Like,
Oh, honestly, I didn't take it serious at first, bro.
Nobody took it serious.
That's not even any hate. It's just
It's not.
You see someone do something.
Dominic's views do not reflect the views of this podcast.
But no, that's for real though. No one took it serious. And I remember we were talking to Jay Stu, and he was like, "My mom does graphic design," and we were like, "Oh, bet, like let's link up."
So his mom was like, she does graphics?
She does graphic design. She does
Wedding card planning.
yeah, invitations and things of that nature.
That's a cool
Very-
little like plug or connect to get you started. You know what I mean?
just to get us
Yeah.
get our feet wet for sure. And then Emmanuel was there that day. He was getting a ride from J Stu, and it just kind of it was just kind of crazy at right place, right time.
Do you remember the date? Like exactly.
I remember what I was wearing. I remember the whole shit.
Well, low key, it kind of came in like two different parts. So like the day Kyle was kind of talking about, I needed a ride to get back home after like school and whatnot.
This all happened because you needed a ride?
Yeah, low key. Yeah. Because the three of them been plotting. Like Jordan's mom had the plug. Kyle and Tim had already thought about it and whatnot.
Wait, so at this point, like when Emmanuel came into the picture, when he got that ride, like how long have you been like sitting on this idea for? Was it like a week? Are we talking like it was that day that you talked about it?
I think it was like maybe when me and Tim came up with it. It was just an idea, really, and I don't. It was just an idea.
Did you have
really, at the time.
was the name already formed? The acronym already
The name
formed?
came
everything?
from Tim's Twitter.
Whoa.
Which is
Yo, it's crazy. You know what's crazy? Nowadays, I feel like a lot of these names and shit, like everyone just like all these rappers now just going by their Instagram or like their at names.
Yeah, the
the same thing happened. Like the Twitter name just popped off. Yeah.
Yeah, it just popped off, but then there was some deeper meaning that developed along the way.
Yeah.
But like we said, there was a lot of parts to it. So first it was the meeting with us four, Jay Stu's mom, kind of just getting the logo together, brainstorming. How do we want to go about this? What does it mean? And then we had a meeting with our family. To let them know.
Collective families or
Collective,
way.
like all of our family.
No way.
We're all close with like all of our families.
Wow.
Like, I'll just be house sitting and stuff for them.
That's
so.
crazy.
Did you call them
actually.
all in like a room? I'm
Yeah.
thinking of like what's it called? Like an intervention. That's what it sounded like. I know it wasn't, but like we got them all together in a room. We sat them down.
Low key for sure. But so that was a big thing too, and just kind of letting them know like, we're really serious about this, kind of where we wanted to go from it. We're 16 years old. We don't we don't have an income. So that's kind of the main starting point. Those two instances for sure.
And that day he's talking about with our parents, that actually ended up being April 20th, 2012.
We got the dates on deck.
Yeah.
April 20th.
You asked
You
me
see
about that
that
earlier,
date?
yeah.
That's crazy. So then, go
Oh, go ahead, bro.
damn, me and Dom are already gonna
I know,
fight.
bro.
We're gonna fight tonight.
Too close, bro.
What really stuck out to me right there was the family meeting. Like, why? Yeah, that is actually really crazy because I've never heard of that, or like in a few kids like want to start a business or start a company, like get their families and let them know what's going on. Like, why was that? Why did you feel like that was necessary?
I think there was a couple of parts. One, my mom owns her own business, and I know Jay Su's dad worked for himself for a lot of years, and I'm pretty sure he still does. So they have these different business backgrounds, and then
They're creatives.
They're creatives in their own perspective, in their own way.
If you don't mind me asking, like, what do you know what they do? Or I mean,
My mom owns a consulting business.
Oh, word.
She does that.
And Jordan's parents have a real estate background.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, his father. Yeah, my parents immigrated from Kenya, Africa, so they had a little different type of touch to the whole mix. I believe just because they had gone through a type of unique experience, coming from a third world country over here to the States, not having too much in their pockets, and whatnot. Even though all of our parents grinded, we all, all of them grinders.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bro,
Day
Emmanuel was a hustler, bro. This fool, he would be selling candy bars all the time.
Side note, I tried doing the candy thing. The worst. I was trash.
It's not as easy as it sounds, bro.
It's hard, bro. No one wants to buy your Skittles, bro. Like,
Nah, I mean, I feel like at a point, kids just started coming to me. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, this fool has candy, bro.
And what you
was
need,
funny.
I got it.
if you remember back in the days, you used to have like little handles in your texting. You know what I mean? Like at the end of it or whatnot.
The signature.
Yeah, so my homie Jordan, J Stu, obviously y'all know him, sent out messages before I used to go to school, and would have Chege Chocolate Shop as his little signature.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
my guy.
So this is like 7th, 8th grade. Canyon
the
Hills.
menu and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we got going on today.
Yeah. So yeah, that was back then, and it kind of developed. Like high school started doing it. Got kind of robbed back in high school, if you remember that. Yeah. So after that happened, I was like, nah,
This isn't the
this
way.
ain't the candy
This is
business,
not the
no.
wave.
So how long after like, cause like like there's like when you talk about something, it's like, oh yeah, let's do this. And like I hear, especially in high school, you hear like a whole bunch of people like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna start this, it's gonna be crazy. Like, and so like at what point did it go from like being like an idea that you were talking about
Right.
to like everyone being like, yo, this is for real, like we're gonna do this, and start like actually like doing stuff in order to make it like actually happen?
I think a part of it was that it helped that we were well known in high school. We knew a lot of people. So at first they didn't believe us, but then we were like, all right, let's figure out, let's Google. Google's a powerful tool. So let's figure out how to get T-shirts, get them printed.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just looked at it from that basic perspective at that point in time. And then literally the first thing we came out with was like, it was our old logo, like our very first OG logo. And there's 5 different colorways, and they sold out like that, like the first week. Like everyone was texting us. Like,
Was
"Yo,
it a
can I
big?
get that?"
Was it a big run? Like, how do you remember how many pieces you guys made? Or
Yeah, that was our first 100.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good look for like your first release, like 100 shirts.
And this was still junior year of high school.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were for sure feeling it, and that was kind of like our first taste of, all right, maybe we could do this. And then like kind of I would say for like the next couple of drops that happened in high school, like it was all hot. Everyone from the schools would hit us up, and then it started to be kids from other schools outside of our high school would just hit us up and kind of hear about us, and it was like, oh, that's kind of dope. So it was real encouraging for sure.
Yeah, just to add on to that a little bit, I would even say like that meeting with our parents, like on that day, April 20th, 2012, I don't think there was a doubt in any of our minds walking out of that room that now we're doing this. Like,
Did you get like 100% support? Was there pushback from your parents? Like, how are you gonna do this? Like, what if it doesn't go? Was there any of that, or was there any was it all support like 100%, or were they trying to be logical and trying to say like, yo, think about the down, like what could happen? I mean, obviously things could fail. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think our parents are can-do people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was all. It was a very positive kind of vibe in there.
Right.
Support your local black business. So they for sure were. They went over, what could happen, what you need to be prepared for, legally, financially, like what's your guys' plan. We actually had a little presentation.
They had to.
So we had to get our thoughts together
Yeah.
too. So it wasn't like we were kind of just like, we want to start a clothing company. Like, what's good?
Was it like a PowerPoint or like what? Or you?
all the
No
above,
way.
yeah.
No way. Damn, that's impressive to me because like I don't know. Even then, like you took it serious. Like you know what I mean. Like it wasn't like, oh, like we're gonna talk to our parents and like, cause that's what it sounded like at first in my head. Like, oh, let's make sure they're behind us. But even like going into that meeting, you were already treating it like it was a real business. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, we're gonna hit all of these points, which is impressive.
And that's something I didn't really expect because from the outside, it just looks like, everybody else is like, oh, hey, I'm starting a clothing brand. But, it's now hearing the backstory and like hearing that there was a presentation, a family meeting and shit, like that from the beginning, it shows that there was like more thought brought it to it. You know what I mean? From the beginning.
definitely.
Yeah.
Love.
So was there any point like, so you say like the first run you got like 100 shirts right off the bat. So that already like, one, if it didn't give you confidence, so you're like, all right, let's do this. Was there any point, like you said, like where it kept on growing and growing? Was there any point where it like hit a spot where it's like, damn, I don't know, like things got rocky, like people like, let's say,
shirts from moving or something.
yeah, people got moved out to college or like where it seemed like it was going to fall apart, or was there anything that like happened like that over the years?
I mean, I think any time in life, like what I've learned is that even the more you grow and the more successful you are at whatever it is that you do, there's gonna be point in times where you're like, damn, like, like what we about to do? So there was a lot of times. I think for sure, college was kind of a game changer in both a good and bad way. Not necessarily bad, but it was just a change of scenery. Yeah. So we had to get used to not being. We used to kick it with each other all day, every day of the week.
It was easy.
It was easy.
Yeah.
It was easy. We're right there. We literally lived in like a line. Like it was like me. It was like JC's house, my house, right next to each other. Emmanuel and then Tim. So it was like a straight like line that you could just go through to each one of our houses. But for sure, college because we had to get used to, all right, now we're not with each other. So that was definitely a game changer. But there was nothing too crazy that we couldn't handle.
Roll with the punches, right?
Yeah, roll with the punches.
Always.
From from your designs, like you said, it started off with Jesu's mom.
Mm-hmm.
So like, where like when you both started this, well, all four of you,
Mm-hmm.
like you didn't necessarily have like backgrounds in design
Nothing.
or anything like that, right?
We knew nothing.
So so the things like some of the clothes you're putting out now, like who's doing those designs? Like where do you find inspiration, and like did you develop a background in it, or like how's that going now? You know what I mean?
I think it's kind of formed itself, like being able to like roll with the punches. You know what I mean? So we started off from nothing, not a thing, not knowing what cotton polyester blends are. You know what I mean? Being able to even hop on a computer and create something. Like we had Paint, like whatever Microsoft Paint. I mean, like coming from that, being able to transform our skill set. It's developed when we were in college, not being around each other. So being involved in a completely different scene with people who are brilliant. That was one of my favorite things about college, actually, was being able to be in an environment where I didn't know anyone and no one knew me, and being able to see people's raw talents, raw abilities, like from other parts of the world. It was a dope experience, and I think mixtures of that with all of us being at school have allowed us to develop our fashion sense, our design sense, being able to be a multi-use tool. I think is something that's developed between all of us, especially since we had to leave. But also stay in constant communication. So being able to work different ends of the business, we've all learned some design sense. We've all learned different finance, marketing, whatever it may be. We've all been able to use our tools that we found in school, and bring them to the field, and have discussions about it once a week, meetings. You know what I mean? With like freshman year, that was something that we had to adapt to. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't something that we're normally doing. But being able to get on, exactly.
People wouldn't even believe us. Like, meeting about what are you meeting about? Like, don't worry about it. Like,
got this.
But just like that, like we were able just to maneuver our way throughout the semesters, and finding ourselves now being seniors. And I just graduated last semester. So
Congrats on the grad.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Peer
We
pressure.
need a clapping one.
Hey.
We don't have
We need a
graduation.
Much love.
No, but going back to like learning from other people and other people's talents around you, do you? I mean, I know you just said that everyone like kind of learned a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but do you guys feel like out of the four, you guys, like each one of you guys brings different pieces to like a full machine? You know what I mean? Like
Most definitely.
Like you guys
Most
all have your
definitely.
different. Do you guys have like specialties? You feel like someone's better at this and that, or
we do have defined roles.
defined roles? Yeah.
So,
Ooh.
because you.
Oh, I know. It's a real business now.
It's not just
Well, I
feelings.
mean, you
bro.
had to, because it's good for everybody to learn. You want to learn everything about your business,
Right.
but realistically, there's four of us, so it makes no sense for us to all be focusing on one thing. We need to be able to multitask and be able to put our strengths in the right direction. So, Emmanuel and Tim, they do the designs, any type of orders, processing. And then me and Stu do more of the marketing, personal relations with models, and we contact all of them, emails and things of that nature. So we handle two different sides of it.
That's really tough. Honestly, that's like really cool. That's like really that shows a lot of maturity in the business. So, I mean, do you feel like where you're at now is where you saw yourself like when you first started, like 5 years from that time? Like, did you have a vision? Did you plan it out like concretely? Did you write down your goals? Like, what did you do to help yourself like stay motivated or like stay on track to get to this point to do this for 5 years? Hopefully for the next 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, did you have any special habits or anything that you felt like helped you like along the way?
I'd go back to the definition of prime, pure royalty in me.
Yeah.
And being able to understand that you're the king of your own castle, you're the captain of your ship. So every day you wake up, you got to be ready for the game.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we've all been able to bounce off each other,
Right.
create this brotherhood that we're gonna know we're gonna do this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we're making this happen. So Goals were for sure written.
Right.
You got to have your goals
Yeah.
written. Keep your eye on the prize. But honestly, so many things do change throughout life, and you got to be able to adapt to those. So I think just being able to keep your eyes on that prize and understand that you're that king or queen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of your castle. Just
We appreciate out here, bro.
always.
Peer
That's all my
pressure.
queens, bro. this dude's trash, bro.
Yo, so my biggest question, like because like it's what's interesting to me is like you like see people who put out clothes, right, and like people who make clothes, but like in my head, what I never thought of is like the back end and like the business side. You know what I mean? Because like you're not just designers, you don't just make clothes, you're businessmen,
Right.
You know, right? And so like, how did that develop, and how like was it rocky in the beginning? Like, how do you feel like you developed? Has it helped you as a person? Like, what is that
Most
like?
definitely.
Not only making clothes, but being like approaching the world as a business person now. Like, how has that affected you?
I think it was definitely a struggle in the beginning because you're trying to you just want to make dope clothes and then it sells out and then you make some more dope clothes, but that's not how business works. And I think the fact that we all major in business helps a lot. So we were able to apply what we were learning in the classroom to what we're doing. A lot of kids that I know, like, oh, why am I doing this? Some busy work, or they kind of couldn't see it because they didn't have something that they could use that information
Couldn't
for.
apply it, yeah.
Couldn't
Right.
apply it. So I think that was a huge. College helped us out so much in that aspect. And then just kind of you kind of have to create your own business identity, how you want to be with customer service, how you want to have your looks aesthetically, the meaning behind the clothing. You kind of want to bring the whole package together. It's not just printing something on a T-shirt and then you sell it, because we used to think that. But it's definitely evolved, and that had a lot of that had to do with going to school and all being in business, most definitely.
I really think that it's really cool that you guys are actually talking about college so highly,
Right.
especially now in today's age where people are. I don't want to say like anti-higher education.
People
They're-
trash it.
Bro, yeah, man. They're like some people have told me like I wouldn't recommend people to go to college these days. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool that you guys are actually showing that college pays off for
Right.
you, to help you help your dreams. You know what I mean? To achieve them, you can actually use the system to your advantage.
Right, most definitely. I don't think it's also because I tell people this all the time. Like, I hate school, but I love learning. Because school, I can see where it kind of it's kind of a gimmick in some instances. Like you take electives for your first 2 years. Like, why am I taking that?
School
I
100% a gimmick.
Yeah, it's for sure. Like,
no,
I just
I know what you
got
said.
my-
No, I'm backing you
Most
100%.
definitely,
Not
most
100%.
definitely.
Yeah, but sorry,
Most
go ahead.
definitely.
I
you're-
agree with you.
No, you're facts, because I just got my cap and gown and it was like $500. Like, what, bro? Like, are you serious? Trash.
Bro,
Trash.
I
So,
appreciate that usage of the bomb.
but I understand it's not for everybody. There's people who can be successful without school, but knowledge in general, you need knowledge. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get played 100%.
Yeah.
There's been instances, I think that was the big thing too, was when we were young doing business with other people, they would see that we were 16 years old and they would just kind of just
I didn't even think about. I didn't even think
Just
about
dog
that.
us out.
Because it's not like when you have a business, it's not just you. Like, you don't exist in a world by yourself. You have to
Right.
interact with other businesses.
Right.
And they probably saw you and they're like, easy,
Licking their
easy
chops.
money. Yeah. Man, that's crazy. Let's talk about this new release that you guys have going.
I'm going too hard with the bombs.
I was like, damn, bro, look at that.
We need some bomb variety.
So what is the new? Talk a little about the new release you have that's out right now.
The most recent release.
Yeah, the most recent.
Oh, my fault. I was talking about the new.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Keep it chronological.
Nah, so we just released Free Creativity. So that was a 6-piece set that had a hoodie, crop top, 2 tees, and then another 2 tees that were staple tees. And a part of those designs, we were running off of free creativity, and that goes kind of back to our message of pure royalty and me being able to release that creative aspect of your life that is unique to you. So that's why we dropped these pieces with a little bit of our own touch to them, with our own athletic trimming that we add to it. But yeah, that's just a little taste for what's coming up next. We're really about to free some real creativity with this next drop. My fault. Go ahead. What you
Can you
about to
talk?
say?
Damn, can you talk about it?
Yeah,
Damn, you got me
yeah.
hyped now. So what with the next drop? Like, what is it? What is it? Does it have a name? Like, when are we expecting it? And like, you sound hella excited about this. So like, what's getting you so excited?
No doubt. It's kind of funny because you're about the universities and how highly we feel about education in college.
Yeah.
So this next drop actually, I don't even know if I should. Can we
Damn, bro.
The exclusive,
Peer
the
pressure.
peer pressure
I'm not
exclusive one
quite sure.
time.
I'm not quite sure how much we could talk about this right now.
Damn, man, keep wraps.
I might just say stay tuned for the start of December. Yeah, I might just say that.
Bro, don't make the fucking
Peer
bomb
pressure.
sound.
Yo, man.
He's over here making bomb sounds with his mouth. Come on, bro.
So I guess switching gears to
Yeah.
like the design aspect of
Okay.
it. How do you feel like from where you began, like what have you learned what tools have you learned to like help your creativity and like what skills have you learned in terms of like creative thinking to help like fuel your collections or fuel your drops or whatever?
And how much does Jay Stu's mom still play a part in the design process?
Not at all. Not at all.
Sorry, Mrs. Stewart.
Yeah, that's right.
Much love.
much love for sure. It's for sure been a growing process. We started off with working with different graphic designers. We got one up in San Jose who we work with as well.
Student, keep that in mind.
Student, yep. Shouts out to
Shouts to
Tyler.
education system,
Yep,
man.
yep.
Yep. 'Cause you definitely meet a lot of dope creative people along the way, and especially in college and universities and whatnot. But it's definitely changed with who we've been working with, the graphic designers, how we process it as far as like taking in culture. I think we're a lot more aware of what's going on in today, or we're watching a movie. Oh, I like that fit. We'll kind of be talking throughout a whole movie, or when our friends are with us, they're like, "What are you guys doing?" And we'll just be like, "Oh, that was hard. Oh, I like this. This could be better with that," or something along those lines. But yeah, that's it for me.
Something that I kind of fell in love with at school that kind of helped free my creativity was a laser cutter. So I got into that, messing around with designs and putting them onto a laser cutter and being able to cut out some real wood, some real dope wood. Some of the pieces that you've seen in the past, you may have seen some little hand.
I was about to say, I remember some of those.
Yeah, like we had earrings, we had bracelets, we had some just keychains and some little pendants that we put on some of our products. So the laser cutter was dope, but being able to work like Inkscape, Photoshop, Illustrator, stuff like that, bettering ourselves every day, honestly, just being able to maneuver those different systems and expand our skill set.
Are these things all self-taught, or because I know you all have a business degree, right? So, or working on your business
Correct.
degree.
Right.
So, is all like the design aspects? Are those like things you did on your own? Like, how did those come about?
It's kind of been a combo. So being able to work with people, like you mentioned, young creatives that are skilled already in this field, being able to learn from them, being able to apply our own touches to it, just being able to bounce the ball back and forth and be able to like really create whatever we aspire to create. But I mean, honestly, being able to work with even this is she holds a dear spot in my heart. Shout out Miss Houston.
Oh, much love.
Jump on for it.
If you go to
damn.
I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. My fault. That was my fault.
if you go to FITM, you already know who Miss Houston is. But Miss Houston is a wonderful older African American woman. I wouldn't say older. I mean we're all young in God's eyes. So Miss Houston, she's someone that's helped us learn our cut and sew abilities. So being able to actually get more.
That's tough, bro. Cut and sew's a whole different beast.
100%,
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, she's been a blessing to us in terms of being able to learn that aspect of it, and we haven't even dove completely into that field just yet. We're doing little touches here and there and whatnot. But yeah, being able to have people that are there to unleash some of their creativity, some of their royalty onto people like us, younger people. Just I think that's the love, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, is being able to show that love and give what you get
Yeah.
Right.
tenfold.
Have you ever felt like it was ever hard to get like support from other people like about this? I mean, you talk about Miss Houston. How did you like meet her? How did you get in contact with her? And have you met other people like her that have been sort of like mentors to you guys if that's the role she plays?
For sure. I think the who you surround yourself with is so crucial in anything that you do. You're not going to be able to go where you want to go unless you surround yourself with people outside your team to show you the ropes. So we've definitely met. Houston is through J-Stu's mom.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not. I'm
met her
really
through
trying
a
to think
family
about
friend.
that. Yeah, family friend for sure.
Family friend, and she wanted to see some young brothers do something good, and she was really feeling that we were into fashion and things of that nature. So she's been nothing but a blessing for sure, most definitely.
How long ago did you meet her? Like, did she come into the picture?
Sheesh. I think now it's been probably like a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Oh wow! So for a while now, like. Do you have like any? How many? Do you keep track of how many releases you have to date? Like, because I know you release them in like sporadically, right?
Right.
So like, how many?
They know, bro. It's a business, bro.
Bro, it's hard, bro. But so, how many releases do you have? And do you have like an individual favorite between the two of you, or like individual favorite piece that you like? And you can't say the newest one because
And if you could describe them, because this is this is audio only.
Right.
Obviously,
They can't see it.
They can't see us right now. It's
We got Instagram, so everyone do want to see it.
at Prime Life CC.
Thank you.
But favorite piece, honestly, for me, I would have to jump to hunting season.
I remember that drop.
Yeah.
Is that the one in the snow?
Yes, sir.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
bro, see,
Yeah.
it stands out in my head. So like, like.
because we in California, but we taking it. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Instagram comment.
But what's it called? A duffel bag from that collection, the hunting bag, hunting season hunting bag. Probably the black one. That was my favorite. So that one had some cut and sew done to it, where we dismembered a bag and were able to put in our own fabric that we carefully picked out and stitched to the bag by putting it back together, reconstructing it, and also our line patch. Smack that on there too.
We don't need no sound effects, bro. We got. I got you.
But yeah, hunting bag for sure. That's for me. What about you, KY?
Man, I kind of want to go back to what you guys were saying about what's my favorite piece. I can't say the newest one, but honestly, just a side note, I feel like everything that we've come out with for like probably this past summer's dropped, I really just wasn't. It's not that I feel like when you create it and you look at it so much, it's kind of like you're like, damn, like I don't even like this.
Bro, I know that feeling 100%.
Yeah, so
whatever you make and you're with it for too long, I hate it after.
I didn't want to say that, but you do
No,
hate
yeah,
it.
no,
You
100%,
do for
yeah.
sure hate it. But then when you see the people's reaction to it, and like when they're rocking it, they're putting it on their social media, they're copying. I think that's how I judge the pieces. Like that. All right, I felt that. Like I'm glad that you guys enjoy it. That's the most important thing. So I think I base what I like off of that. So I probably have to go with striped tees, our sauce tees. We did long sleeves, tank tops, and t-shirts. I think those got to be one of my most favorite pieces because a lot of people really enjoyed those. So
Yeah.
I'll probably have to go with that one.
And I think something like touching on what you said, I think that's something that's really cool about like clothing that people forget is like these things like actually the clothes you wear are really important. You know, they tell stories about where you were in your life. Like like it was raining outside, I put this hoodie on. Like my girl borrowed my hoodie. It was tight. You know what I mean? Like these things are really, they stick out. Like you remember the clothes that you wore on a certain day and a certain time. But also branching off of that, like what was it about starting your own business that was like so important to you guys, or taking ownership of something? Like what about that was like so meaningful to you guys that you guys want to start this at such a young age?
I think something that kind of I think resonated between a lot of us at that time was seeing the same outfits at school. I remember.
It's funny because we all went to the same school, so we could like definitely like.
I know what you're talking about.
You feel me? The skinnies and the blank tee. Like,
Bro,
with the Vans.
Bro, no, the biggest thing that was in was the Wiz Khalifa fit with the
yeah.
cargo
shorts, bro.
and the snapback.
The cargo shorts, my guy.
Mitchell Ness.
Got to.
Mitchell and
Yeah, my boy was actually talking about that a second ago. Kyle was talking about how he was in the shop trying to get some fly gear for himself, and he's a bigger brother. So when he's up there trying to get some gear, he ain't seen nothing he likes.
that's probably my biggest reason why I wanted to do it.
No way.
Most definitely, because I couldn't. I was like, man, I'm trying to have swag too.
Come
I'm trying
on,
to
bro.
have,
Yeah.
I'm trying to have some fits, and they ain't got
And
nothing in my
I feel
size.
like fashion really segments the fucking like they cut out
100%.
like the
For
bigger
sure.
dudes, the bigger girls. You know what I mean?
For
Like
sure, most definitely. And I just kind of, I was like, I think it was that and a mixture of like, yo, this dude is. My mom used to always complain about like, damn, this shirt costs this much. Like, and I was like thinking about like, damn, it does cost that much. So whoever's making that, like, you know, he's doing
I know,
something.
he must be making
That's
some
for sure
money.
where the interest. Yeah, that's crazy.
also kind of jumping off of that, trying to I guess I don't know how to say this, like pricing your stuff. You probably learn a lot about the supply chain, about we have to pull fabrics, screen printers, graphic designers, and then releasing it, like packaging, sending it out, shipping. That must have been a huge learning curve and a huge eye opener for like the whole industry, you know?
For sure.
And how have you dealt with learning in the industry and like those specific things to like fashion and stuff?
It's still a learning curve. Yeah, for sure, most definitely. But it's definitely something you have to figure out because that is literally the key to your business. For me, I think. How do I put this?
Quality.
Yeah.
Quality.
I
is
think quality was one big thing that we had to learn, and really touching the fabric, really figuring out exactly what you want this to feel like, was something that we jumped upon ASAP. As soon as we figured out that, okay, wait, this shirt is made out of 50-50 this, but you can get a 80-20 that, and it feels this much better, like it lasts this much longer. All right, so let's do that. So finding little things like that, I think really helped in terms of understanding the fashion game and understanding how we can apply our own touches to it. Something that we've been diving into, I guess, a little bit. We mess around with zippers a lot. I don't know if you've seen that just yet, but we've been messing around with some zippers.
Zippers are very key.
Zippers.
Bro, you can see the way he says it. He's like, bro, just wait. this next drop, all fucking zippers.
It's just zippers.
I know.
It's just zippers.
Oh, big old zipper, you know?
just selling the zipper.
But no, yeah. I also think just us being in different schools and different parts of the country just also helped in terms of developing our fashion sense and being able to see what we could touch upon. I mean, I was in Boston, so that was a much colder.
Bro, you see this?
Man, shout out to Boston, bro. You know, we out here. Hey,
yeah.
we got the high fives, you know.
But yeah. So having to accommodate for the colder season, you know what I mean? So there's gonna be snow out there. We don't know about snow out here, what?
Nah.
No, not at all. It's like 70
I don't want to
degrees.
know about snow.
I know. I didn't feel that.
And the homies in the Bay too. They got KY,
Whole different swag.
Arizona.
Yep. And there's like 90,000 kids that go to my school, so it's like I got to see. I got to see all that. So
That's crazy. 90,000. Wait, what school you going to right now?
Arizona State. Yep.
Oh man, go ahead. So we're 5 years in now.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So where, like, let's say, like, in the next 5 years, I want to hear an answer from both of you too. I don't know who wants to go first, but like, where do you envision like the company being in 5 years? Like, what are some of the things you'd want? Like, is there one specific thing that? Because whenever I go into something, there's like always not an end goal. Like, I don't want it to ever end, but like this is where I want to be eventually. So what does that in both your heads like look like for Prime Life and for the company and for yourselves too as well?
Overseas shop.
Yep.
Overseas?
Overseas shop.
Like China?
Yeah.
Because China's the new market, bro. Like, China has all, they're like, first of all, super into fashion, super fashion forward.
Yes. For
sure.
And they got bread to spend over there, you know what I mean? But anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
No, you spot on.
Overseas is where it's at too, for sure. Most definitely, we get a lot of love on our e-commerce through different places.
Have you shipped like? Well, hey, they said it like it was a dumb question. They said, huh?
That happened in 2013.
Come on, no.
Yeah, no, a lot of our gram following is, we got kids in Switzerland, Germany. We have orders from Germany,
We got
Ireland,
metrics.
Australia.
Canada, China, Japan. So
That's crazy.
Spain, that was a crazy one.
You know what's tight for me? Tight for me and kind of funny for me at the same time. Is you guys rep the IE like hard.
Right.
Got to.
Like the IE in my eyes was never cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like no, but and I'm saying it because it's cool to see someone, especially who went to our high school, and be like proud of where they came from and like putting it on and doing something cool with it.
Right.
Because to me, nothing about the IE was cool before then.
Right.
But now like you guys are putting it on and making it something that is cool. But also I wanted to get your answer. I'm sorry. Sorry,
Well,
jumping
I
ahead.
do want to get into that too. I'm with that. But for me, for sure, getting a brick and mortar overseas. I think establishing ourselves here in the U.S. for sure, getting some stores out here, getting into some stores, most definitely in the near future, is for sure important. But really, just impacting the culture. Really, that's how I really feel about that. Like, you know, you see kids hitting you up on Instagram who I've never met before. I'm from the IE, and you see kids from Japan or Germany, like, yo, your clothes are dope. Like, you know, I really mess with this. Like, what? Like, I love it. Blah blah. Like that definitely builds up your confidence. You're like, man, like, you got something for sure.
Go ahead, bro.
And, oh wait, what were you gonna say?
I want to go back to this IE question, bro.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So what is it about the IE and like putting on for it and like giving it like a name and making it like a cool thing? Because in my head it was never a cool thing. You know what I mean? So like why?
I mean,
like,
y'all here, right? Y'all cool? Come on.
We all right.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't nothing.
Peer pressure.
I think that's always been a huge thing for us. Is we want to, like, if you think about it in perspective, like when Drake was coming out, if you were to tell me back in 2008, 2007 that someone from Canada was going to be running the rap game as far as like just dropping hits, you would have never thought of it. And
bro, he made Canada hot. Like,
Yeah,
Canada hot.
he
Everyone
made
wants to be
Canada
from
hot.
Toronto, bro.
And obviously that's like the most extreme, but I mean he reps it.
Yeah.
He reps it proud. Like, and that was kind of like one of the first people who in the US everybody knew from Canada that was really jumping like that. And I think that there's a lot of talent out here musically. I think just from a creative perspective, people are really modeling. I think
Southern California.
Yeah, SoCal. I think people are really trying to get it. And what I like about the IE is that it's so diverse as far as where the kids come from. Most of the black kids from our school came from LA, or they're like the first generation burb kids
Out of
LA. So it's like when I was talking to my friends in college, they kind of thought it was like the Valley, but it's not, because you're 25 minutes away from LA. So you kind of have that LA feel, but with the burbs, and you're kind of used to talking with kids from all different types of background. You kind of get to blend that all together. I think that's really special, especially being in Arizona. You don't have that.
Bro, that's the one thing that going off to college and stuff, like I didn't realize how we're about to give a shout out to Chino Hills right now. I didn't realize how like diverse Chino Hills was. You know what I mean? Because like you go to different schools and you see, you know, a whole bunch of white kids, or, you know, a whole bunch of this type of kids, and like Chino Hills, there was people everywhere,
Everything.
like of all different. Like I had friends of all races, and,
Everything.
and it was weird to some people. You know what I mean? People didn't have that growing up.
Right. Most definitely.
I think that really helped me. I'm just trying to jump in. Like being growing up in like such a diverse community really informed how I looked at the world.
Right.
And has that diversity affected the way you guys like? I think that's really informed how you guys collaborate with people. To be honest, like looking at you now and looking at Chino Hills, like I think that collaboration is such a big thing in your guys' like operation, because you're so used to dealing with people from different places and all over the place.
Right.
Even college, you know, helped you grow in college and stuff like that.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, damn.
What if we just jump off the clothing? What if we're?
I mean, I want to hear about peer pressure, low key.
Damn, bro.
Because
You thought you were
because pressure's lit. Like I don't know about the name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this that saying peer pressure. That's different, because people
Yeah.
can think of it as a different way than
Yeah.
what y'all doing.
We actually thought about this for a minute. We had a few names. We had
40s and minorities.
it wasn't as marketable.
The first couple, like 3 or 4 episodes we did, he doesn't drink, so I would just drink a 40 every episode.
Hey, for sure.
It was pretty tough, to be honest. Yeah.
It'd be good in the beginning, then like halfway through, I'd be lit.
I mess with that one.
But we had like venti ice water.
Okay.
We had because Dom used to work at Starbucks. We had
That's still my favorite. It just sounds nice, bro.
But with peer pressure, to be honest, it was I don't know where I heard it or where it just came up in my head, and I was like, oh, that sounds tight. I'm gonna run with that, and it was just off a feeling, you know. But now I think it's found like a we're still trying to low key like figure out the real meaning. We're still trying to uncover it, but I don't think anything's wrong with that. I think that same thing with Prime. You guys had the name, but then you kind of worked backwards in a way and found the acronym. We're like found the meaning behind it. So still we're trying to like make this show about the people and, you know, bring people on like you guys, young business owners who can inspire other people their age, younger kids, things like that, to start their own thing, which is something that I still struggle with too. So I'm listening to this. I'm like, damn, I'm learning a lot, because I still struggle with executing things, getting things done, keeping things organized. Yep. And if you could just speak on like maybe the struggle of like staying mentally in the game, like focused on how tough is it to like actually execute and like get up and do something and make something that day. You know what I mean?
Always apply pressure.
Ooh, ooh, to the
Peer pressure.
Never settle.
Never.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Damn, bro. Gems.
I mean, it's a struggle every day. I mean, I would be lying if I said I didn't. I was in college and I'd just be frustrated. Like, damn, maybe something's not going right, or maybe we didn't execute this day, or maybe I'm hot at somebody, or whatever the case may be. And you kind of have to filter through all that and realize that you guys have a common goal. I think one of the biggest struggles for me personally was that when you start something with your friends, it's tough to kind of separate business from friendship. And at this point, it's damn near the same thing with us. It's like every time we're together, we're talking about the business.
It just happens now.
Or we might be talking about something random, and then it's back to the business. Like, so that was kind of tough, but it's also it's good once you go through the growing pains, because those are always the toughest, when the disputes with each other, yourself, things aren't going your way. You got to really fight through that. So I think it's just on you, really. You just got to be mentally strong for sure.
Is it ever wild to like look or think that like when we say like both your names, you're business owners. When you look at your Instagram, what do you at? Like how many followers you at now? You have a big following now. You know what I mean? And you started as something that was in Chino Hills, and now you grew out to, bro. You were ready to drop that bomb. Yeah, he was hyped for that shit. So you grew from something like that was a hometown thing, a Chino Hills thing, an Ayala thing even, and then you grew that out into you're shipping to Japan, to China, to Canada. Like, do you ever like sit back and like, wow, like, you know what I mean? Are you like proud of yourself? Does that like trip you out sometimes at like how far you've come in just like 5 years?
I kind of see the road ahead, but it is always good to look back and pat yourself in the back and admire your accomplishments. But I always think that there's always another door in front of you, so you got to keep on opening them. So you're always gonna have another struggle. You're always gonna have another success. But obviously I gotta look back and put a smile on my face, right?
Yeah.
We're 21, 22 years old now. Actually,
We're all
22 years old now. Yeah, we keep saying 21, but now 22 years old. 22 years
for
young.
2 years, and now I got all this stuff behind me.
But no, it's been lit. But I already know there's a lot in store for us now. So we got to keep our heads up and stay focused.
Most definitely can't. You can't be looking in the river and mirror. You just can't. Success is addictive, but it's kind of like we had very high expectations 5 years ago. Yeah. So we haven't hit some of those things yet, so we're kind of keeping it pushing, like you said.
And our expectations are higher now, right?
Yeah,
so,
and it's even higher now. So and we kind of know what the potential, what we could do. Right. So just keep it pushing, for sure.
For sure.
I had another question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we got a little bit of time left. Right. So in the immediate future, I just want to hear about like, so I know you're talking like, so you have the new drop, business wise or anything that are cut, like, because you're always gonna stay releasing clothes,
right?
Like, but you were talking about is the next move? Are you trying to get into shops? I know eventually you want to open your own shop, but is the next move for you like as a business? Are you starting to try to move into like shops? Like I don't know, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the next move? I was gonna say back son, but fuck back son.
Nah, there's some stuff under lock and key right now, so I don't know if you could touch
Give
too much about that.
Give me one of them. I don't care which one.
See, now when you ask me to, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm sorry.
But yeah. We're always working, always pushing, always looking towards the future and what we can better ourselves in.
Right. Always connecting with people is
always.
Very crucial. Very crucial. Who you mess with, who you support, and things of that nature. I think that's huge, and that's something we're for sure going to try to dive into. Obviously, get into some stores, that would be nice. So we'll be working on that and some other things for sure. So I'm excited.
You have any last questions?
No, I know you guys are young businessmen. You guys are trying to be respectful of your time. So not trying to keep you guys here all day.
They got meetings around.
They do.
Bro. We can't be too long, man. We got somewhere to be, bro. I just want to. I'm proud of you guys, man. Like I really see what you guys are doing, and it's cool. It's cool to see someone from our hometown doing something. Not only like, oh yeah, we do this, but like doing it seriously and making a business out of it and being successful, man.
I appreciate
It's really
that.
cool, man. I hope you guys keep on going.
Thank you.
I hope you go as far as you want to. I hope you get that shop over in China, man. Just keep doing it, man.
Likewise, yo.
Plug whatever you got to plug. At Prime Life CC.
At
Yeah.
Prime Life CC. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
All
Keep our
platforms.
website, all platforms, already know.
LinkedIn, you know, whatever.
LinkedIn. Anything else you guys want to say? Like any shout outs? Anything?
Shout out to Peer Pressure.
Shout out
Hey,
to peer
thank
pressure.
you.
Always apply that pressure.
You know what it is.
Yup.
Um,
Shout out my mom. Yeah.
shout out to moms. Shout out to fams.
Shout out J-Stu, Tim. You
Yup.
feel me? They couldn't be here.
Oh,
We got to
yeah,
get
yeah.
one with all four of them.
I wish I could get on the phone right now with them
I
real
know,
quick.
bro. Hey,
Yo.
We'll have a reunion show, bro. We'll
That'd
get them.
be-
But
yep.
at that point, we'll have more than 3 mics. So me
Let's
and
get
Brandon
it.
will have to be sharing the mics.
Perfect.
And shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening. That was episode 25. Peer pressure.
Hey.
Shout out to Prime Life CC. Thank
Squad.
you so much.
Peer pressure. Pressure. Peer pressure.